We get more and more musical every time we come back to this onomatopoeia. Like it's just.
I know when we get further along. I mean, we're gonna have to start just like saying, okay, and by the way, that's copyrighted. That's gonna be in a feature film or something.
Yeah,
you know?
I want it to be someone's ringtone, and if that person is you, I'm sorry and both very proud.
Well, you know what? You know when someone might need to contact you on a phone and not be able to reach you? It's when you're on a tour, when you're traveling the world. Perhaps you're, going a tour of the Grand Line. What I'm trying to get to, Eric, is that I would like to welcome all our... Okay, well, that's good, because I'm welcoming all our listeners to our podcast, The Grand Line Tourist, a chapter-by-chapter re-examining or examining, depending on which one of us you happen to be, of Ichiro Oda's One Piece. I know who I am. I am the tourist. I am Jacob Jarecki. And who are you, Eric, to this fair podcast?
Well, I am Eric Vu, the tour guide. I am re-examining. And, ladies and gentlemen, some small mini claps for Jacob. 2 times in a row, 3 times in a row, he has said his name in the introduction. We're killing it. We're getting into it.
I know.
We're starting to figure it out. Just like Ichiro Oda, we're getting our footing underneath us in our creative endeavor that is this podcast.
This is going to help me out with networking, I heard, if people want to know about you, they have to know who you are. And this is, I've had problems in the past, but now I'm getting it.
Now you know who you are. You've gone through your season 3 mid-season arc. So now you know who you are.
Exactly.
Jacob,
and I'm going to go ahead.
What's on the itinerary for today?
Well, today we are covering Chapter 10, titled Incident at the Tavern. And, I got a lot of crazy stuff on the itinerary. I think we'll start out with just a couple of, maybe some drinking games. Maybe that's because Nami is on at the tavern with Buggy and all the pirates, and she has this great plan of if she can just outdrink them, then, they'll just pass out and she can steal all their treasure. It's good. And she's like, she's got a great plan when it comes to, swindling pirates. Pretty simple for her. She's just playing it by ear. But then... Yes. Things get a little crazy when Buggy fires one of his buggy cannonballs at the town, destroying quite a bit of it, I'd say. A decent section, But it's a big town. Otherwise, it would have taken the whole thing out. And this was all a bit of like a dramatic precursor to Buggy challenging Nami to just like go ahead and, fire one at your friend. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Prove your loyalty
fire one at
to
Luffy.
me.
Prove your loyalty. I mean, she's a pretty new crew member. It all makes sense. And... Nami does not prove her loyalty to Buggy. She instead uses her secret stick. Is it a stick? What do you say? Is it a katana? Is it like a wooden...
It's a stick. Yeah, it's her secret, foldable stick thing, which is kind of cool. That's just like a Nami signature thing that she has, yeah.
Yeah, no, and so she goes around and fights for a little bit. She complains about how pirates took someone dear to me, I think is her exact words. A little bit of backstory thrown in there. And then Zoro comes in and helps her in the fight as well. Yep. And ultimately dismembers Buggy, just like, and he's just into pieces now. And that's the itinerary for chapter 10.
Yeah.
And anything? It's pretty wild chapter. What did you think of all that going down in this chapter? Anything stick out to you?
Yes, this is we said this off recording, but I'm going to say it on recording because I think it's very good, is that...
Get it on the record.
Yes, this is on the record now. This is exposition through action. So it's very good, right? Because people know exposition is boring, but if you tie it into action and things moving and happening at the same time, that we get, it becomes a little more palpable. And that's what this chapter is. So I think this chapter has a lot kind of laced into its action and a lot of different things. Let's start off with just kind of the big point I wanted to come to, which is it's about Buggy, but specifically about Buggy the pirates and how he's paying off this like circus motif, like in very interesting ways. Like I think he really, it's small and you won't notice it, especially if you go really fast, but he really is making this circus thing pay off. For example, all these pirates are all weird circus acts. Did you see that? Yeah, they're all like different things.
I now that I'm thinking about it, I think I needed to look at that more. I think I'm gonna miss some in the background and what they were doing. Like, I vaguely remember some, but give me an example. What are the things you see them doing?
A big thing is in the opening parts of the chapter, like you're talking about, they're partying, like they're having a little party for whatever reason, because they got their map back. That's the big reason why they're having their party. They got their map back.
I remember somebody with a horn. I remember a horn. That was what I was. That was weird. It was someone with like a trumpet in the air. But then it's not so.
You know, they're on unicycles. One guy, they're like acrobats. Like there's a guy who's like doing essentially a keg stand, but he's like upside down, holding himself upside down while another guy's pouring beer into his mouth. Like it's a circus. Like they even partied like a circus, which I thought was really funny. So that's the first example of them paying that off, right? And then I keep forgetting this, but like cannons are a big circus trope.
The problem is it fits right into Pirates, right? So we don't notice it as much.
You don't notice it, yeah. But he shoots things out of a cannonball. Like he's known for doing that, and on top of that, he has his own special like Buggy Ball, which is just a high-powered cannonball, which I don't know how it is, but it causes so much destruction, right? And so we have that, and then later on when Nami's fighting them. They fight like acrobats.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
they kind of like fun little acrobatic
I was honestly
moves
distracted.
Around.
I was distracted by Nami a bit. She looks so kind of like awesome in her fight scenes. Like, I mean, she just has. They gave her like I think 2 pages of like perfect like slash with the stick pose. You know.
Yeah.
So I think I actually didn't catch as much of the crazy acrobatics that were being attacked upon her. But I also did want to mention. With the special cannonballs, I mean, they're just so cute. It's like there's a little buggy clown nose on the cannonball. I was like, wow, that is quite the touch. You know, he's really going all out when he's making his buggy balls.
Yeah, somebody has to go and paint those cannonballs before he shoots them.
They don't come like that from the store.
You know, and this comes back to he still gets mad. Like he is so defensive about his nose. So like he's not even owning it, but he still draws like the nose on the cannonball, and he's like. I don't know, Buggy. What's your deal, man? Are you shy about your nose, or you're trying to own it? You gotta take the power away from the people making fun of you, Buggy. That's all I gotta tell you, man.
It's pretty wild. You know, the weirdest thing that this just made me think of is like a guy painting his nails. You know, you gotta own it. Even if you do, you still might be like, you might be proud of that fact, but you may not share it with everybody. You know, so maybe the nose is something like that. You know, he's personally proud of it, but at the same time, he's worried people won't be like proud of it. So it's a strange little. Very,
it's a weird thing he's doing
place
to
for Buggy to be at.
Yes. Yeah. So the last thing I kind of want to chat about in that regard is so if we think about this whole idea about the circus motif, then we look at, and I thought this is kind of fun, and I'm wondering if it pays off later on in the chapter, especially because this is my re-examining and it's your first time going through it. But
yeah, I wonder if it pays off. Psh, don't you know?
I don't know actually because
it's been a while, right? Yeah, you don't remember all the details.
It's been a while, and this is, and I'm trying. I might be forcing this on a little bit, but it's
okay.
He's the ringleader of his circus, and all of his pirates are different segments of the show. Is where I'm kind of going with this, and I think that will pay off later because if I remember. I think his 2 like right hand men or like his first mate and stuff like that. I think they all are like aspects of a circus show. So that's what I thought was kind of cool. And I don't know if you already see examples of that in what we've seen so far, but this is just something I was thinking of.
No, very well pointed out. I do have a question about this chapter. And you know what? I get confused when they meet up at the tavern, right? They're meeting at the tavern of the town, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The way that tavern is designed almost makes it feel like you're on top of a pirate ship. Or they're just on the roof of the tavern?
I think they're on the roof of it. I think that's where a lot of this conversation's happening, yeah.
Yeah, no, it just, like, I half got swindled in my mind to thinking that they were actually on a pirate ship, And I was like, wait, no, we're at the tavern, right? So I thought that was just an interesting, a little, like, question that popped up in my head while I was reading this chapter.
Oh, no, I get that. Yeah,
it's an interesting location. Yeah,
and it makes sense because they're shooting things. They're shooting cannonballs, and like they don't have to go very far for their beer. It's just downstairs.
Yeah, no, that's a very smart choice.
So those are some expositional things that we got off of Buggy based off of these like just a few things that we saw here. Also, he's a maniac. You know what I mean? He's very. When we think of this idea of him being a ringleader, then he's all about show, and he says a few things that kind of make you think that he is very like outward facing. Like that stuff is important to him, which is show like an overly he like aggressive, shows off his strength in like a very outward way, wants people to know. He's very loud about his strength, and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, the most obvious way is just like what more theatrical way to murder somebody than like get the big cannon, put the special cannonball in it, and then fire it at them. I mean, it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, and then on top of that, he makes Nami is like, show me you're loyal to me by shooting your you're supposedly your old captain.
Classic drama. You know, this felt very classic. This is like, you know, I think they literally they had the line with Buggy that I think so was like, do it, you know, like
and
literally,
like
you know, that
super dramatic drawing of his face, right? Like the menace.
Yeah, Nami's like, nah, you know, let's just leave him. Let's drink some more. And he's like, no, I see what you're doing, Nami. I'm not gonna let it slide. Do it.
And I'm always
this works with me thinking he's Darth Vader.
Well, I'm stuck in between thinking, like, is he smart or is he just, like, bloodthirsty? Because everything I've seen from Buggy at this point, he's still kind of stupid. But when he has moments like that, it's like, so does he know that Nami's, like, double-crossing?
Yeah, like that she's like, yeah, no, it does seem like, you know, like, I know, the only way I could trust her, right, is if she can actually do this, right? You know, which even still might be a far stretch, because he doesn't, I think, realize how disconnected Nami and Luffy are at this point.
Yes.
You know, they haven't even once said to each other, yes, I'll be a part of you, or you'll be a part of my crew. You know, it's a fragile relationship out there. But Buggy strides the line of being maybe a character that's a little more in control as a villain, you know, that knows what's going on. But I think he might be getting a little lucky. That's kind of my
yeah.
there.
I also think he might. I personally don't think he's that smart. I just think he's just bloodthirsty.
Bloodthirsty.
And he just shoots his cannonball at Luffy.
You know, it's kind of weird. If you want to be a good villain, like not even like just like, or be a good evil ringleader, as long as you're bloodthirsty enough, it kind of can. You don't need all those smarts necessarily because everyone's just scared of you. You know.
Yeah, that's true too. And like, now that I think about it, circus ringleaders don't have to be really nice. Most of the time, they're making all their performers do things that could kill them. So
yeah, no, it kind of fits with the theme.
Yes. So that leaving from the the Buggy side. We get some more exposition about Nami in this chapter. And this is, you know, we finally get her reason for why she doesn't like pirates, which is like they took someone important away from her. That's a fair reason to hate pirates.
Yeah. No, and actually I wanted to call out, this is definitely an extreme example of my tinfoil time, my Jacob's prediction corner.
Okay.
This would be no way this is going to happen. Took someone dear to me. That's what she says, right? Mm-hmm. The person that they took from her is still alive, is what I'm going to go for. That's my prediction.
Oh, that's your tinfoil
Like,
hat.
she thinks that they were just, you know, killed or murdered, but they actually were not. And
yeah.
If I was to take that a step further, I'd say it's actually Buggy, and that, you know, she just can't tell that it's him because he's got the clown makeup on. Oh. But we'll stop there. I think I'm gonna stop with the first half of it. That the person
you don't want
to
double down on the second half?
No, I'm not gonna double down. I want to say it. This is cheesy. I'm saying it, but not taking it. I'm taking the first half. The person that was taken from her actually is still alive, and we will meet them someday. And she's not aware of it yet, but we'll find out.
So later on in this, just talking about Nami here, you know, we get that fun little line of like exposition there. So so sort of like she doesn't even wanna. I think a big moment in this chapter is like a very interesting thing that I know we'll talk about later because I've took notes about it in the later chapters. But for now, Nami's facing this like crossroad of you need to shoot Luffy to prove your loyalty, and also really to keep your ruse going, right? Like she's obviously deceiving Buggy as being a pirate so she can steal from a pirate because she hates pirates for these reasons. But right now, Buggy is like, well, if you are a pirate, then you have no problem shooting this guy. Luffy has that really fun line of like, you're not prepared. And, you know, and it's weird to have Nami react in a way of like, I'm not prepared because I can't kill people cold murdered, like, you know. But that's not what Luffy was saying. And Luffy was like, you're not prepared to put your life on the line. And I think what he's saying, because now that I'm talking out loud, I think what he's saying, you're not prepared to put your life on the line when you go against pirates to kind of reinforce what you believe in.
Yeah, no, I wrote this down. I wrote the specific line down in my thoughts because I actually wanted to bring it up with you. Yeah, it means being prepared to risk your own life is what Luffy responds to when Nami says, "What do you mean? You mean I need to be prepared to kill somebody?" He's like, "No. It means you need to. It means you're not, you know, prepared in the same way those pirates are. That they're prepared to risk their own lives." And I feel like this is an interesting kind of like, I think, way of Luffy envisioning, you know, what it means to be kind of like a good person, like, or to be a pirate in this way. You know, the cause that Luffy's going for is something that he would be willing to risk his own life for. Is kind of like what he's implying there, and that makes me. It's a bold way to live, you know. I don't like. Most points in my life, I don't feel like I know something strong enough to like, you know, put my life on the line for it, right? And that's what I think he's kind of accusing her of. Is like, you're just a, middling, in between, double crossing sort of person, right? There's nothing you're willing to put your life on. Like, you're not really. If I was to take it real deep, Luffy's saying you're not really living. If you don't have something you're willing to put your life on the line for, right? And so you shouldn't mess with pirates because, in his vision of pirates, there are people that do have that.
They're gonna do it. They're gonna they're willing to fight you to the death at this point, but you're not. Like, you're not willing to do.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't prepared for this situation that you're being put in, which is cool. But also, I think a big moment for what Luffy sees in Nami, because as we know, Nami, for one, she's not gonna kill people because she says herself like, that would make me just as bad as a pirate. But her, like, essentially this is a moment where we see that she's a good person because she has no reason to stop the other pirate from lighting the cannon, but she did.
Yeah.
Right, she did, and this is her.
And she puts her own hands on, like, a burning wick, and has to try to stop it, right? Not like a super easy. It wasn't like a completely pointless gesture, right? And then she has to fight the pirates as a result of it. So there's consequences,
Yeah, I wrote down Nami save the fuse moment.
I gotcha. Any people out there that have heard of Saving the Cat?
Yeah, see? Look at this. We got all this movie terminology in here, too. We're super Hollywood about One Piece, folks. Netflix should hire us. Should hire us to produce the live action.
Writing the adaptation. We'll get it going.
Yeah, that they have casted for. Actually, I don't know if we talked about that. They did release the casting of the One Piece live action like a
my goodness.
A month or so ago?
Tell me yet. I don't think. I mean, is it like people we'd know?
No. Not that I know.
Yeah. Okay, just checking. I didn't know. You told me, like, Johnny Depp as Luffy. Oh, no.
No, they're not going to do that. Yeah. Johnny Depp playing Jack Sparrow, who is playing Luffy. Layers.
There we go.
No, I definitely don't know if it's... I don't know. Who knows? But it was weird because I think that's a little bit...
that's some exciting news from the One Piece world.
Yes, yeah. So we released our podcast, and I think like a day or so later, or maybe... We were already in talks about doing this podcast, and they released the cast list of that, and I thought that was weirdly timed.
Dare I say prompted by us, of course.
Oh, probably. I mean, they're all listening.
Yeah. If our podcast didn't come out, they'd have been like, there's just not enough interest in One Piece these days. Cancel the show.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg sold our information to Netflix, and like, you see, these kids are about to do a podcast about One Piece. This is the time to strike the iron while it's hot.
Yeah, it's hot IP. Let's get it going.
The only other thing I want to bring up about this whole Nami thing is that we get another whiteout panel between Luffy and Nami in this sequence of stuff, and
so just mean this is where like it's like all the background's gone, and we just have their face with their words, right? Basically,
yeah. And I think the cannon in the cage obviously is in the shot still too.
Gotcha.
But I'm wondering if this is like, if we'll see if it's a short foreshadow of like a Nakama foreshadow, right? Like a future crewmate foreshadow if this is what he's gonna do over. I mean, obviously I know things you don't know, but for me, I like to see if it pays off for other things. But who knows? He had one with Zoro. Right. He had one with Nami. What's gonna happen?
No, that's a good tip. Keep your eyes out for any other whiteout panels, and we'll be like, oh, okay. Possible crewmate.
Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts about this whole Nami? Some Nami exposition we got out of this chapter?
No. I think I laid it all down there pretty much. She's pretty cool. I feel like she gained some coolness points. She kind of came from this. She's not just that middling character anymore. Mm-hmm. She's chosen a little. She's made some choices. She has a weapon. I feel like that's. You make some choices. You have a weapon. You're on Luffy's side. You become pretty. You get some prestige in my book.
Yeah. And then she took a swing at that guy. She landed a big hit on the first guy. Which was great. And I love that she stopped the fuse with her hands. Super cool on her too. She had no reason to do any of that, but obviously she's a good person. Save the fuse moment. That's a t-shirt.
Yeah. And Save the Fuse, I might dare say, is kind of a joke. Are you ready for some other jokes that you encountered this chapter?
This was you did a better segue than what I had in my head. So we're going to keep this one. Yes, I am ready. Oh. We're getting straight into it. OP got jokes. Da-down, 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 da-down. Yeah, it's the tuba. It's the tuba song.
Oh, yeah. No, I heard it.
No, thanks, man. Do you have any jokes, or you would like me to start with the joke?
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and take this first one and say, Nami, are you knocking him back? I don't know why I found this funny. This was
the beginning
Captain
of the
Buggy.
Chapter. Yeah.
The very beginning of the chapter, Captain Buggy just kind of like saying, Nami, like I know you might just be the newest member of my crew, but you better be like drinking like the rest of us, knock him back.
It is such a strange thing for him to say, and she's like, "Aye, aye, Captain."
Yeah, no, I have to admit, I found it funny, but then I wondered if this is actually like a little bit of a thing that is he referencing the fact that she's like a girl and therefore can't hold liquor as well as men usually can, and like how are you going to prove yourself as a pirate, or is this just new crew member sort of thing? I wasn't totally sure. Like I initially laughed, not funny, and then I kind of like second questioned my laughter on this one.
We'll say all of the above, but in this case, whatever's more lighthearted in your mind.
Okay.
Because it's in the OP God joke section of the podcast.
Gotcha. What do you got for me?
I only have one joke, which I thought was really funny, and it was Luffy trying to chew through the cage like a dog. Or like an animal,
I had that one
right?
too.
Yeah,
Yes.
Again, going back to this whole cage motif, because that's what they do with their animals. But it's kind of funny to see him kind of chew it, and like trying to chew sideways, his face and everything. It's just a fun visual thing to see him try to do. Yeah, I mean...
and it's kind of cool to see Luffy do it, because like as opposed to... maybe another character where you're like, this character's not seriously trying to chew through the cage. You're like, no. Luffy has every...
Yeah.
He's intent on getting through that cage, and he just keeps going at it. It's impressive.
Yeah, and then I love how he's like, I'm mad at you, but I'm hungry. And she gives him food, and he's like, I like you now. Maybe I will let you join my crew, which is super funny.
Just because you brought that moment up, as far as I'm aware, the food giving was implied, right? You don't see it,
Yeah,
right?
I think it was.
That was one of the more interesting... That was like the first time in One Piece where I really felt like, oh, we actually left our moment-to-moment, panel-to-panel kind of usual nature of the chapters, and it felt the most disruptive. It was like at a page turn, and we didn't see it, and the next response was... It obviously makes sense, but I almost felt like I was missing a panel. Like, this was one of the first times that it happened. Yeah, so it's just interesting to note,
I thought
sometimes flow gets disrupted a little bit.
I thought he was chewing the bar. Like he got a piece of the bar off, and he was chewing on it, so I didn't really get it, and I was like, I guess I'm supposed to assume that food was given in between these two panels. Because it would have been cool if Nami showed up with, like, food in her hand.
Okay, Eric, I think it's time to stop the jokes and get a little bit more serious. And
yes.
I think I'm ready for a panel battle. I tried to add a little tuba into that panel battle theme music.
I liked it, man. It was good. We are just like Hans Gruber, We're making it work.
You've done this before. It's not Hans Gruber, it's Hans Zimmer.
It's too late. This is the world I live in.
You live in a world where the guy that took hostages to the rooftop also is a composer on the side. I like it, and he's successful.
Yes. All right. Who would like to go first? Me or you? You or I? I and them.
It was you who asked the question, and therefore you must present the answer.
All right, so for anybody who maybe this is your first episode, in this little segment, Jacob and I both get to choose a panel that we enjoy, that we think is the best out of the whole chapter, and then we make them fight each other by putting them side by side, and we critique it, and we all explain, both of us explain our artsy interpretation of it.
That's right.
If you agree with us, then send us an agreement email at grandlinetourist@gmail.com. If you don't agree with us, then you can fight us and still send us an email. So
no. We didn't make a separate email for the disagreemers. They send it to the same place, grandlinetourist@gmail.com.
But it all goes
and
to spam.
this is just as all the spam. Yeah, that's why we haven't seen them yet. Damn it. But this is just as Ichiro Oda intended himself. Different panels from the same chapter he drew, going head to head. This is just what he envisioned when he was making One Piece. So let's have it.
All right, I've posted it and then I've circled it.
Oh, you circled it. Thank you. I don't circle mine. This makes it a little easier. But this is a top panel. It's 2/3 of the page, and it is Zoro coming in to block all of 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Buggy's pirates that were going after Nami as she was, struggling to put out the fuse. And we have, how many pirates does it take to handle one girl? And a big ba-bomb, as well as the pose of Zoro I gotta kind of hand out, is him holding 2 of his swords. He didn't need all 3 to do this.
Yes.
So the number of pirates to handle one girl only takes 2 out of 3 of Zoro's swords, and they're all getting hit in the face, and they're just, like, knocked dead in their tracks. They kind of, great slapstick freeze frame moment on each one of their faces. Like, one of the guy's foot is, like, way in the air, and the other one's way towards the floor. I think this is a pretty awesome panel. Anything else I missed out of it? What do you think? What spoke to you about this one?
I think my favorite part of it is that it's a little kind of 3D, And I think the way
Yeah.
he did it is that he used the automatopoeia, the BAM on the bottom portion, the bottom right-hand side of the thing, to kind of, and he placed it underneath the pirate's 2 foot, right? 2 feet. And that makes it a little bit like 3D. And then once you look at it, you're like, oh, I guess they are a little bit breaking into a third dimension, kind of coming, playing towards the front.
Yeah, and it's not the only thing that does it. That BAM that you're pointing out that's underneath the feet is also coming out of the panel. So it's like, it's weird because that it does add that 3D effect because it's like something that started inside the frame and is now like outside in our world a little bit, which is that's really cool.
It's really cool. It's like a cool little action line, and also he looks so cool. Zoro's so cool in this moment. Like, it's a really cool moment, and also I feel like it rewards Nami for her good deed, like her good instincts of like stopping the fuse, even though she knows she's gonna get hit, right? And I felt like that's such a cool little moment to have him come in and be like, yeah, Nakama, man.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I'm sure that will be quickly and deftly taken down by my panel from Chapter 10. Check it out.
All right, I'm looking at it.
And it is the top panel. Top. I don't circle panels for you.
I was gonna choose this one too.
Oh, we're close. One day.
But a part of me was like, nah, I did one similar last week, so I'm gonna have to do something else. Because I chose a cannonball shot last time, so I'm glad that you chose this cannonball shot. This is the first time that we see the Buggy Ball being shot out of a cannon, and it just decimates these line of houses, these line of buildings in this panel. So we get a big boom, 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 as the onomatopoeia sound. This is probably like a half-page panel. But you can really see the force of the cannonball. Like, the first few houses really eat the initial impact of the cannonball, but then it gets less and less as it goes through, but it's still devastating, and it makes a cute little, like, donut. I don't know why I use the word cute. I guess it's cute to me. But it's like a donut hole smoke thing that you can see the cannonball make with that first initial impact of the building.
No, this is a really cool one because it's something that impresses me about visual art in general. This is something that I will never see. I am never going to see any sort of, explosive cannonball device go through like a whole line or block of houses, right? Mm-hmm. But for some reason, my head knows that this is an awesome way that would look, and it makes sense. Like that these houses would be kind of like almost being deformed in shape by the shockwave that the cannonball would create. Is just like, it totally makes sense. Like, I didn't, I'd never seen anything like that, really. I mean, maybe from other pieces of media, and maybe it's all just building on each other to make this make sense, but I feel like this would even make sense if this was, like, my first exposure to what a cannonball could do, and I would just be even more awe-stunned. So I thought it was a pretty awesome panel.
Nice. This is a good choice. I like both of our choices, but clearly one of them has to win. And if you guys are wondering who's winning so far in this battle, well, it's still a draw.
It's true. It's true. We need more of you to reach out. We need the critiques. We really are more, in it for our, personal vendetta to get the votes so that we can prove that one of us is better than the other.
Yes, our pride is on the line. Yes. Our pride. And it's very fragile. All of it's so fragile.
Alrighty. You know what, Eric?
What?
I got a couple of what do I have? I have some tasty steel bars that I wanted to, like candy bars. These are just steel bars. I think, these are a great snack, as Luffy has mentioned. So I just, whipping some over to you through the internet.
My dentist
and I figured
is not gonna like this, but yeah,
no, not at all.
Bars.
Let's snack. I got some for myself. Let's end with our snack.
All right.